Hello everyone and welcome to week 2 of module 1. In this video I'm going to go over the activities for this week, and to begin, this week you're going to be responding to posts. I've enjoyed looking at all the introduction videos that you've made, and it seems that Biteable has been a big hit with all of you. Hopefully you found it easy to use, and it's been interesting for me to see the choices that you make in the templates and the music that you choose. So I've enjoyed watching all of them. So now that you've posted your introductions this week, remember to respond to your peers. Some of you have already done that. Great job. For the others, please do remember to respond to your peers as well. So that's the first thing. You also need to complete the TPI survey this week. The TPI survey is the Teaching Perspectives Inventory Survey. And this tells you what inclination you have when you teach. And there are 5 perspectives. You're going to look at where you fall in those 5 perspectives. Once you complete the survey, I also need you to post the results in the specific discussion area. Now, at this point in the course, we're just going to do the survey and post the results. In module 3, we'll have a reading about TPI itself, and then we'll bring your results together with the reading and see where that stands, what the implications are, and we'll also look at how this plays out in practice for you. Moving ahead, this week is for you to also complete the readings. Now, remember in this course that I give you the first week of the module for your readings. Just to catch up on the readings, you're not required to make any posts. Only for this first module, you did your introduction last week, and this week you continue with your TPI survey and TPI results postings. You don't have any other discussions for this week. Just make sure that you're on track for now. You also need to post your training situation, and in the next slide I'll talk to you about what the training situation is. And finally, virtual office hours. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the virtual office hours for this course. Okay, so let's look at the training situation and what is expected of you. Some questions to consider. Now, in my course, I find it important that you work on projects that are relevant to your lives at this point in time. So think of your current job. What are you doing now? And in this current job, are there any training gaps that you are identifying, that you see happening around you? Now, you might not be directly involved in those areas, but you could still identify that as a gap and then develop a training program for that. So if it is something that is directly within your job, great, but something within your work environment. And why I say this is so that it is relevant to you, it makes sense to you, and you tend to invest more time in it when it's something that matters to you, right? And something that you know about. Rather than I give you a situation to work on, you have no investment in it because it's not really something that might be directly relevant to you. So you identify a training situation, preferably in your current job. And then you also think about, so then if this is the gap, what kind of training could be used to fill this gap? So when we talk about what kind of training, remember these 2 things. Now, the module that you are developing for this project, it has to be a face-to-face or in-person training, and you're only developing 1 module. Because this is an individual assignment and there is a lot to do for this project, I'm asking you to focus only on 1 module. And it has to be face-to-face or in-person, because remember, in the SGR program, you have other courses like 707 that focuses on creating a program for the online environment. So we don't want to replicate assignments. So in this particular course, we're looking at face-to-face and in-person training. Now, through different courses, you will notice some common threads like coming up with objectives and goals. Those are the same for any training situation. But here we're focusing on the face-to-face scenario, and you only have to develop one module. Okay, so let me offer you some examples of what I mean by a training situation, right? At the place where I'm working, it is required for faculty to put in travel requests when they go somewhere, or when they travel for conferences. They need to put in a travel request, and then they need to file all their documentation if they want to get reimbursement, and that has to be done on a specific system. Now, people do need training on this because the system by itself is not intuitive. And there is no specific training currently available, and people just kind of fumble along. So now there is a gap, you know what needs to be done, and so you're going to identify a training to fill this gap. So the training is going to be a face-to-face training. I'm going to teach them about the specific software, and how long do I think this training might take. So that's a training situation that I identify. Something else was, if you work as a barista, you might want to teach new employees certain recipes or certain skill sets. That would be a training as well. Orientation or onboarding for different organizations is always a big area that trainings focus on. Now remember, to make this meaningful, don't replicate a training that already exists in your organization. That's kind of pointless, right? Another example would be, say a new software has come in or a new procedure has been implemented. How do you train the employees for that? And that would be another training situation. For this particular posting where you're just identifying the training situation, whatever you think about, post it. The idea here is that I then review them and I give you feedback on them. And the training does not have to be the module. Remember, it's just one module, and it doesn't have to be for 3 or 4 days, but it can. So how you decide on your module is up to you, but it can be as short as an hour or 2 hours, and as long as you would like it to be. But remember, just one module and not a collection of modules. You don't want it to be too much because this project is pretty intense. Okay, and then the next thing is to remember not to repeat work from other courses, because that is called self-plagiarization and you can get into trouble for that, so please don't do that. Alright, virtual office hours. So my virtual office hours are on Tuesdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will try to have a focus for some of the meetings. Now, some weeks there won't be any focus. It's just if you have any questions, you come by. For this particular week, which is tomorrow, I will be focusing on the training situation. So if you have questions about the training situation, come to the virtual office hours, ask me your questions, and I can talk you through some of your ideas. If you feel stuck, you're not sure what to do, this is the perfect time for you to come by so that you can talk through your ideas and we can look at options for you, and you can then write that up for your discussion post. The link for the virtual office hours, which is Adobe Connect, will again be posted in the announcements. And finally, I'm going to be doing videos. You've noticed the audios that I've embedded. All of this is, of course, just one modality, and I like to change the modality so that it's different and it's not just one format of information that you're getting. However, I am cognizant of accessibility issues. Now, for these videos that I post, they are all posted on YouTube, and so the closed captioning happens automatically. However, if you want a specific transcript or you want me to make some other accommodation for your needs, please let me know. I am happy to do so. I am also providing different videos for the project requirements. Since it is such a large and involved project, I will take you through the requirements for every aspect of it, and I will be providing feedback for every separate element of it as well. So it is completely scaffolded and you build one on top of the other. Okay, so that's it for this overview video, and I will see you all online.